Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Knutson, and I work with Fairfax County's Department of Transportation. And I want to welcome you tonight to the second meeting to discuss the traffic calming plan for Ingleside Avenue. And we can start with introductions. And tonight from the Dranesville District Supervisor's Office, Natalie Bennett is joining. And from FCDOT, we have Nicole Machakwe, Benaz Rauf, and Grace Vaughn. And Nicole does have a short presentation to go through. If we can hold all of our questions to the end, we'll open it up for questions and comments after the presentation. Let's see, Natalie, is there anything you would like to add before Nicole goes into the presentation?
I don't think anything from my end, but I am newer to this project here and a lot of the other RTAP ones in the district. So I just want to introduce myself and say that I'll be that main point of contact. I've been communicating a lot with the task force leader. So I'm your go-to person if you have any questions regarding this proposed plan here.
All right, Natalie, thank you. And Nicole, I think we should be ready to go.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks. So welcome, everybody. As Steve said, we're here to discuss the traffic calming plan for Ingleside Avenue. This is the second community meeting. So we'll jump right into. So first, I want to go over a couple of items. Please note that this session is being recorded and may be shared on social media. Please hold all questions till the end of the presentation, and instructions on how to ask your questions will be held at the end of the presentation. Okay, so here we explain why we're here today, to explain the traffic calming process, provide opportunity for the community to give feedback, and answer any questions that you all might have. And also, so we can begin with what is traffic calming. So traffic calming is the installation of physical devices to reduce vehicle speed. These devices can be either vertical or horizontal. Vertical devices are driven over, such as a speed hump, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner. And horizontal devices can be driven around, such as a raised median island, as you can see in the image in the upper right corner. Both types of devices make the road safer for both pedestrians and drivers. I would also like to note that through this process, we are not permitted to install stop signs. So here are charts and images showing the effects of decreased speed. As speed decreases, visual acuity, field of vision, and depth perception increase. And also with a reduction of speed, we can see a significant reduction in the number of severity of crashes involving motor vehicles. Here we have an image, or a map rather, of all traffic calming projects throughout Fairfax County. There are over 200 projects resulting in over 500 devices installed countywide. And every district has a device, so chances that you've driven over one are pretty high. Throughout all these projects, Fairfax County works with the Supervisor District's Office and the community members on these community-driven projects. Okay, sorry. So the upcoming program can be broken down into 5 steps. So step number 1 is project initiation. Step number 2 is plan development. Step number 3 is community engagement. Step number 4 is ballot phase, and step number 5, which is the final step, is project installation. So as I mentioned earlier, all traffic calming projects are always community initiated. So the process starts with, or begins with, the request that's sent to the supervisor's office. And then once FCDOT receives that request, we then conduct a basic eligibility review. Then we will move on to conducting a traffic study. And if the subject road qualifies for both basic eligibility review and traffic study, the community will form a task force. So there are basic eligibility requirements that need to be met. The road needs to be VDOT maintained, have a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, be functionally classified as local collector or arterial, and if it's collector or arterial, it needs to be a residential street. So for the traffic study component, here we have the results that for Ingleside Drive, the volume criteria, we need between 500 to 6,000 vehicles in 24 hours, both directions combined. So for Ingleside Avenue, we had 1,742. And for the speed criteria, the 85th percentile needs to be needs to be greater than or equal to 35 miles per hour. So what this means is that 15% of vehicles need to be traveling 35 miles per hour or faster in at least one travel lane. So for this percentile, we found in the northbound lane for Ingleside Avenue is 33, and for the southbound lane, we had 35. So it met the speed criteria as well. So once we go through the basic eligibility and the speed requirement or traffic study requirements, we can move on to step 2, which is plan development. The first, we will conduct a site visit in the field in order to develop a draft plan. Once we have that draft plan, we will meet with the task force to get feedback and then amend the plan if necessary. Once the task force is satisfied with the draft plan, homeowners directly adjacent to any proposed measures will need to sign off of the placement of any device in order for us to move forward to the next step. There are device placement requirements, and based on these guidelines, we need a minimum of 300 feet between measures and from existing stopping conditions. We need a minimum of 150 feet from an intersection, a minimum of 150 feet for adequate sight distance with any device, and it needs to fit on the existing roadway. So we have to take into account any driveways, manholes, utilities, and also count for the grade of the road. So based on those requirements, we were able to draft a plan and propose 2 speed humps on the Ingleside Avenue. The most northern speed hump will have advanced markings in the southbound travel lane. The address listed on in the boxes are the addresses that that signed off on the adjacent property form since the devices are adjacent to their homes. Here we have a graphic of a speed hump. So it is 12 feet long and 3 inches high at center. And here we have a speed hump schematic. There will be speed hump sign with a recommended speed of 15 miles per hour on either side of the device, and each travel lane will have white chevrons. And for the most northern device, we do have a schematic here showing the advanced warnings or warning markings, as you can see up on the top image here, that will be placed or proposed for the upper speed hump. So step 3 is community meeting, which is where we are here today. This is where we present the plan to the community to obtain feedback. Based on that feedback, the task force will decide whether they want to amend the plan or proceed to the next phase. If the task force decides to move forward, we can then move to step 4, which is ballot phase. So on ballot phase, each household in the ballot area will receive 1 vote. This vote will need to be sent directly back to the supervisor's office. The ballot time period will be open for a minimum of 3 weeks and must be returned back to the supervisor's office by the deadline marked on the ballot. At the end of the ballot phase, the supervisor's office will tally the votes and notify the task force of the results. Here we have an example of the ballot. The proposed devices will be listed on the ballot, and the community will be voting for the entire plan. The task force is responsible for distributing the ballot package to everyone in the ballot area. There are 3 ways to return your ballot by the deadline. One is you can mail the ballot directly to the supervisor's office. You can hand deliver it directly to the supervisor's office, or you can email it directly to the supervisor's office. Ballots should not be returned to the task force, so please use one of the 3 listed methods above. So here we have the ballot area for Ingleside Avenue. There are 13 ballots, and in order for the proposed plan to move forward, we will need greater than 50% of all households to vote in favor. So we will need 7 yes votes to move forward. If we get the required number of yes votes, we can move to the next step, which is step number 5, project installation. And this is the final step in the process. So the traffic calming plan will be presented to the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors for endorsement, and then the resolution will be sent to VDOT. Once endorsed by the Board of Supervisors and accepted by VDOT, Fairfax County will work with the Department of Public Works and Environmental Services to schedule installation. And lastly, then the traffic calming measures will be installed. So here's the end of the presentation, and we can move on to questions that you might have. So once the chat item is activated on Teams, you can use it by typing your question. And if you want to speak, click on raise your hand or raise hand icon, I'm sorry. Then you will be unmuted once it's your turn to speak. An unmute request will be sent to you through Teams, so you will have to click the allow button in order for it to unmute. If you are calling by phone, please push *5 to raise your hand. When it is your turn, the host will call on you to ask your question. You need to push *6 to unmute, and after you finish your question, please push *5 to unraise your hand. Okay, and that's the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, I'm seeing Dave and Chris, you have your hand raised. I'm going to send you a request to unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening. Yeah, this is Dave McCloy. I noticed when we get to the community voting phase, it's at a minimum of 3 weeks, the ballots will be open. What is the maximum period? So is there a window of when we need to have everybody voted by?
I mean, we generally don't set like there's not like a maximum, so you can kind of choose the time frame that you want to vote in. This is a pretty small area, so you might want to just go ahead and stick with the 3 weeks. That way it'll go a little bit quicker. But you know, it is up to the task force and the supervisor's office. I mean, you can leave it open for 4 or 5 weeks if you would like, but I don't think that it would be necessary for this ballot area just because it is pretty small.
Okay, understand. And we understand it's a more or less a secret ballot where everybody responds directly. We just want to get the word out and make sure everybody's got good participation.
Yep. Okay.
How long does it take for the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors to approve following the community vote?
Well, it's basically how long it takes us to get the board item ready and get scheduled. So it generally takes, 4 to 5 weeks to get on their agenda. So we would have it open the ballot for say 3 weeks. That's going to be a total of probably 4 weeks for us to get the results and put together a board item. And then another 4 weeks to get on their schedule. So it's going to be about 2 months after you start the ballot process.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all we had.
If you stick with the 3 weeks.
Understood.
Okay.
And so Natalie, you would be receiving all the ballots. We would send you a tally sheet and you can tally the ballots once that closing date comes. And the way the language is written on the ballot, I believe, is they have to be received in your office by the date that's chosen. And that date will be listed on the cover letter and then also on the ballot.
I'm seeing a hand from Kate. I'm going to send you a request to unmute yourself. Should be coming your way.
Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Hi, this is Kate Bogafy. Thank you for your time. I think my question is on the ballots. Do they have to approve? I saw there was a separate spots for each of the speed humps. Do they have to approve? Do we have to have 50% of both of them?
So
I guess they're
we'll-
approving both.
correct.
in
We'll have
doing
both items listed on the
I
ballot.
see. Okay.
So we're voting for the whole ballot or for the whole
Got
plan.
it. Okay. Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Mm-hmm. And so we are kind of dependent on the task force to, kind of produce the ballots. We will send templates to work off of and a map. So that ballot packet should include like a cover letter, the map, the ballot itself, and the schematic of what's being voted on.
I'm seeing a hand from Penny. Penny, I'll send you a request to unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yes.
Oh, finally. Yay. Thanks. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry. I have a quick question. So let's just say hypothetically it doesn't pass, and then we find out that it would pass if the neighborhood only voted for one of the speed humps. Does that mean that can we come back around and then put this through for a second pass for just one speed hump, or do you have to start all over again? What happens in that scenario? You wouldn't know that, but as a neighborhood, if we found out that, how would that work for us?
So there would be like a 2-year wait period to go back through the program again, and we would be starting all over. We wouldn't just be able to reballot for one device. So, you do want to be fairly confident on the plan that you're presenting to the community with the hope that that you'll get those votes that you need for that to pass. Does it?
If okay, so I guess my question is, if perchance we talk this up in the neighborhood and it appears unlikely that the neighborhood would vote for two, but would vote for one before any of the ballots arrive, would there be a way of dropping one of the speed humps?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we would then have to meet again.
Okay.
I don't know, it would be nice not to have to meet again, but I mean, considering we had one, added one, then we'd be dropping one. So, we do want to be pretty sure about what we're doing and making sure that, whatever last discussion we've had is what's being voted on.
Great. I'm just just for clarification purposes, because I was a little confused at one point whether we were dropping one and going for one and that, or whether we were two. So I just wanted to understand the process. So
Okay.
thanks.
I see Dave has his hand raised. I'll send you a request to allow your mic.
Hi, it's Chris. Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Hi, Steve. I just wanted to, I know the balloting is, private and you can't share, but is there any way we can touch base before the 3 weeks are over and you guys could just let us know how many you've received so that we could maybe send out reminders and stuff to people?
Yes. So, I mean, we can let you know how many have come in, or Natalie
Okay.
can let you know how many have come in.
Okay.
Saying we, but yeah, you can reach out to Natalie and she should be able to, count pretty quickly how many have come in and let you know. We just really, unless you, issued a FOIA, we would not be willing to say who's participated.
Yeah, I remember that. I just wanted to know, because if you could just let us know, hey, we're, two short or one short, we can kind of go around and chat with everybody or send out a reminder, because I know people get busy and sometimes just forget to do it. So that's the only reason I was asking. And I also, while I'm on, I wanted to thank all of you for all the effort and all the help that you've given us. I realize that the attendees are the ones who are usually here and our other neighbors aren't. So I apologize for that, but thank you so much for working with us and putting this plan together. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm just glad we were able to get that second location nailed down.
We are too.
Yeah, me too.
And, to go back to, the time frame, it might be best just to pick, a 4-week time frame. We will send to you templates to work off of for the ballot, the cover letter. We'll approve them for the map and the schematic. You'll just need to print out copies and mail them out. So you want to kind of build in that time of how long it's going to take you to distribute the ballots, and then how long you want it to have it stay open. But we just need to identify the closing date on the ballot and the cover letter.
Okay, I think we're, as soon as you guys can do what you need to do, we're probably ready to go ahead and move forward. So, if you want to coordinate, I know Shahab's kind of the coordinator, but I'm available. So we're ready whenever you guys are to get the process started. And I think it would be good because that way we can hit everybody before they start going on summer vacation and stuff.
Exactly. I will defer to Nicole. Hopefully we can, get the templates out to Natalie before the end of the week, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, that's doable. I can at least get you guys out the cover letter first. You'll need to fill out the cover letter with the date, and I'll work on the rest of the material and hopefully have it to you by the end of this week.
Can I ask one more question? You said it could be mailed back to the supervisor's office. Do we need to provide envelopes to everybody to mail them back, or does that come from you guys?
If you want to show the ballot sample, it is like a bifold.
Oh, okay.
So,
oh, awesome.
Yeah, you can just fold it in half, and I would, you might want to include a stamp, but it'll already be addressed, and they'll just need to tape it shut and put it in the mailbox.
Awesome. That's just what I want to know, if I needed to get any other materials and stuff. Okay, great. Thank you.
So we can walk them around and just put them in the mailboxes, or do they have to be mailed to the residents?
You can walk them around, but do not put them in the mailbox because it's
got it right.
Federal offense.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this will actually give us an opportunity for one last pitch.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I would also recommend doing them, this is a smaller ballot area, but is trying to keep them all around when you distribute them, all around the same time period. We've
Yes.
had projects and before where some would get it before others, and didn't go over well. So if you distribute them evenly so everybody gets it around the same time, that will definitely help you guys.
Awesome. We'll do that.
And it is, as I said earlier, it's like a bifold, but I mean, if you want to give an address or an envelope, you can also do that. The address will be, for the supervisor's office will be on the ballot itself. But some people have chosen to, also include an envelope. So it's however you want to approach it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, I don't know if it's been discussed, Steve, whether the task force and the district supervisor's office wants to discuss on who the ballots are going to, whether they're going to the homeowner or the residents or occupants. That's one thing we will need to know in order to send out the ballots.
Correct. So, I mean, the task force can reach out to Natalie and have this discussion. Natalie, basically, we leave it open to the community and the supervisor's office. They do have the option to ballot the occupant, or you can send it to the property owner if the property owner lives at another location. And we can help with getting those addresses.
Everybody who is on the map to receive one of these is the owner of the property.
Makes it easy then.
Yes.
So that answers that question. And we do have like a contact slide. There you go, Nicole. If you do have questions after the meeting, you can go ahead and send an email to dotinfo@fairfaxcounty.gov and just put in the subject line Ingleside Avenue traffic calming, or you can call us at 703-877-5600 and ask to speak to somebody about the Ingleside traffic calming project. You can also do the same thing to the Drainsville office, and it'll just be drainsville@fairfaxcounty.gov with, again, the same subject line, or you can call the 703-356-0551 number and ask to speak to most likely Natalie or somebody about the Ingleside Avenue traffic calming project. But we will, as we said earlier, try to get those templates to you all as quickly as we can.
And for this presentation, you said it would be posted somewhere. How can we share that with people who are unable to attend?
So we have emailed the PowerPoint presentation in a PDF format to Natalie, and she can send that to the task force or to anybody that's on tonight. Nicole, you might want to explain this. You certainly have a greater understanding. With the Teams platform, it's a little bit more difficult to share the video, but if you want to take over.
So anybody that's attending right now in the chat, it should populate the presentation after we record. And so in our in the chat, that should be available to all that who have attended. You can click on that and you can download it and then share it. The issue that we have is that the file is so big, we can't just pop it in an email and share it out with you guys. And it takes a little while for our team to make that available to the public. So if you guys want to click on the link when we're done with this meeting and the recording, and then download it that way, you're welcome to, and I'm hoping it will work. Who knows with technology nowadays? And if not, Natalie can definitely share the presentation out with you guys.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I can email the presentation to Shahab after we hop off today. So I've only been communicating with him, so hopefully we'll get that.
Okay. And with this, you know, the size of the ballot area, we are hopeful that everything goes, you know, fairly smoothly and pretty quick. So, you know, we hope that, you know, we are able to have the ballot process over within, you know, a couple of months. And so if we don't have any more questions, we can go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. Natalie, do you have anything that you you want to ask, or do you have anything you'd like to add?
I do not have anything to add except for I think the email is drainsvillebos@fairfaxcounty.gov. So that would be good. But I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can definitely ask for me, and I'm more than happy to update once we do get to the ballot phase about how many we've received. So I'm happy to do that. It should be pretty easy to count. So should be good.
Okay. Has the email address changed? I think most of them are just the name at fairfaxcounty.gov.
I think it may have changed.
It may have changed.
With the new server. I don't know if you email that one and that it populates directly to the BOS one, but I've been sharing Drainsville BOS.
Okay. Sorry about that. Well, we'll try to find out for sure and get that straightened out. Okay. And you all are welcome. And like I said, if we don't have any more questions, I know that somebody joined late. Heather, if you had any questions, you can go ahead and ask. And if not, then we will probably sign off for the night. And I think we're going to go ahead and say goodnight. And like I said, we will try to have those templates out for the ballot before the end of the week. And everybody have a good and pleasant evening. Thank you for attending.
You.